Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Overwatch Weekly. Got 5 things to cover today, most of them related to the Overwatch League, with it starting up its second season next week. But I do have a couple things that are non-Overwatch League related, so let's jump into those things first. The first thing is last week, last Wednesday in particular, the PTR was updated with a couple of things. Most of the things are bug fixes, but there are a couple of other interesting things that were added. The first thing, the biggest thing, of course, is a new map. I talked in the past about the fact we'll likely get a new map relatively soon, and then we weren't getting it, and I was kind of confused, but they just surprisingly dropped a new map on us, and it is Paris. It is an assault map. I did a video on it where I went through the map and just kind of gave my thoughts on it. It's pretty chill. It's pretty calm. I'm just like going through, looking at everything. I'll link to that in the description. I'll link to another video as well, where you can just get a look at some of the really cool little hidden details in the map. If you haven't explored it yourself, I would recommend it. It's on the PTR for you to check out, but that is the new map Paris. The description of the map, if you're wondering. Begin your journey at the Cabaret Luna, where the velvety alto voice of preeminent diva Luna charms movie stars, revolutionaries, locals, and tourists alike. After the encore, step outside to see the Sights and Seas victory. Artisanal shops line the streets as you approach the first point, so duck in to sample a macaron or escape enemy fire. Battle through alleys and corridors before clashing with your foes on the banks of the Seine. Once you establish dominance over your adversaries, make your way to Maison Marat and deliver the coup de grace. So that is the new map, Paris, an elegant city of art and romance, and it is the newest assault map. So yeah, that'll be linked in the description. Some videos, check that out. The other thing that was big in this patch, this PTR patch, have to do with the HP for your heroes and the order that they appear. So this is a little confusing, so I'll explain it the best way I can. But currently, your hero's HP is in this order in terms of what will take damage in a theoretical situation where you have all of the different types of HP. So there's 6 different types of HP. Obviously, you know about the 3 main ones: your health, which is the white of the health bar, your armor, which is the orange, and the shield, which is the blue. Plus, on top of that, there are the non-recoverable versions of that, which you receive from ultimates. There is no non-recoverable health currently in the game. The health, the white one, there's nothing currently that is just a health point that is non-recoverable, but there are non-recoverable shields and armor. So currently, on the live servers, the order in which you take the damage is, first you would take damage on your non-recoverable shields, which the example of that would be the shields you get from Lucio's ultimate. Then it would be the recoverable shields, which is stuff that you see on the health bars for heroes like Zenyatta and Symmetra, Zarya. They have shields in their health. Then you would take damage to the non-recoverable armor, which is what you would get from Brigitte's repair pack or Brigitte's rally. Then you take damage to the recoverable armor, which is what you see on the health bar for certain heroes like Brigitte or Reinhardt or Orisa. A lot of your tanks have armor. Then it would be non-recoverable health, which currently is not in the game in any capacity, and then recoverable health, which is the white health bar that the heroes have. So that is the order on the live servers of how you take damage. It's a little confusing if you can't really picture it. So I'm trying my best to kind of visualize it and explain it. But that order is being changed. And for the most part, it doesn't affect a lot of things, because some of them, for example, don't really move around a lot. There are some things that take a huge hit. So the priority now, first on the priority list is the non-recoverable shields, which are already first on the priority list, the Lucio ultimate type shields you get. After that now is non-recoverable armor, so the stuff you get from Brigitte's rally or from Brigitte's repair pack. That is now a part of this second group in the priority, which it used to be 4th in the priority. Now it is, or 3rd in the priority, now it's 2nd. Then it's non-recoverable health, which technically doesn't exist in the game at this moment, so that doesn't really matter that much. Then it's recoverable shields, recoverable armor, and recoverable health. So the recoverable health is at the end, and it always has been at the end. Because recoverable or non-recoverable health doesn't exist in the game, it doesn't really matter where it is right now. So recoverable armor is basically in the same spot as it was before, so that doesn't really matter either. Where the change is with non-recoverable armor going from 3rd in priority to 2nd in priority, which means now heroes like Zenyatta and Zarya, where you used to get Rally and that would stack up under your shield, so you basically could have your shield and you could take damage there, and then they would restore over time, and you could basically have permanent health boost from these armor that you're getting from Brigitte. That can't happen anymore. Obviously, it couldn't happen with the 30-second cooldown now, or the 30-second duration for the armor you get from Brigitte. Now it's not a thing anymore. And the developer comments on this. They say, in Overwatch, a health type order determines the prioritization of subtracting health, shield, and armor types when a hero takes damage. For example, if a hero has recoverable shields and takes damage, the damage taken will diminish the recoverable shield before recoverable health. Previously, it was possible for heroes' recoverable shields to be prioritized for damage and regenerate, allowing their non-recoverable armor to persist. With the order adjustment, heroes who have been granted non-recoverable armor or shields will now consume those resources before recoverable health, armor, or shields. The issue with this fix that I have is that it doesn't really do anything anymore, and it's kind of a late fix that they didn't really need to add, because the thing is, right, when Briggs' ultimate didn't have a 30-second duration, this would have been a big change, because you wouldn't have been able to have that stack of armor on heroes like Zenyatta, Zarya, Symmetra, who have armor, or have shields. But now that the armor doesn't last, it doesn't matter, because that armor is going to go away after 30 seconds anyway. So this change, to me, feels late and unnecessary. I might make a video going more in detail on it, but I think this change was really kind of pointless. But it's interesting because they mention non-recoverable health, which is currently not in the game in any capacity. So you wonder now, does this mean we're going to get an overheal ability on a hero, whether it be a new hero or a rework on Mercy, for example? I'm interested to see what it means, this overheal ability, if it's even going to be a thing. Obviously, they mentioned it as existing already in the previous priority order, so in some way it might be something that we have and we continue to see, or it won't be. I don't know. I spent plenty of time talking about this first story. I'm interested in seeing really what this does to the meta. I think this will kill Brigitte pretty well, which is a little unfortunate because I think she was already pretty much done, and this just seems like something that didn't really need to happen, but we'll see how it goes. But we'll move on to a more lighthearted and simple story. This comes from Jeff Kaplan and the Overwatch forums, where a question was posed by Spirit, and the question was, how different would Overwatch be with fall damage? Just thinking about it would probably change some tactics for a few characters. Junkrats would have to be mindful of using the double jump, or the double mine jump. Pharah would have to slow their fall so they don't die. Winston's couldn't just jump mindlessly. I don't know, discuss it. And Jeff Kaplan commented on the post, saying, we actually tried falling damage in early development of Overwatch. We ran into problems with characters like Widowmaker, Reaper, and Pharah. With Widowmaker, it felt strange and unintuitive to be able to grapple to high places but not be able to jump down without taking damage. We found ourselves grappling back down to lower points, which was awkward. Pharah was really odd. If you didn't feather your jets right before touching the ground, you would splat. And with Reaper, we kept teleporting to high locations with no ability to get safely down. For a while, we kept exempting characters from fall damage, but pretty soon it felt arbitrary who would take fall damage and who was immune, so we removed the mechanic completely. And I think that is very, very, very interesting. I think it's cool that Jeff is saying, yeah, we had fall damage in, but it became kind of like, okay, well, this hero takes fall damage because they don't really have a reason why they would kind of like just not. And then these people, it counteracts things we can do with them, so they don't take it. And yeah, I'm glad they don't have fall damage. I think fall damage wouldn't really make a lot of sense in Overwatch. It's a fictional game, doesn't really matter, so I'm all for not having fall damage, and I'm glad that Jeff gave a little insight as to why the game doesn't, and the fact that he gave a little bit of development insight on when the game was actually being made. So those are my thoughts on that. Let's move on to the next story, which is an Overwatch League related story, as the final 3 stories are. 2 of them are pretty short though. So this one, the first one, is that the Overwatch League Season 2 talent team has been revealed, and fully revealed this time around. So I'm going to start by talking about some of the things that have changed. You know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to run through each of the different groups, and I'll talk about what has changed when I finish each of the groups. So we'll start with the desk analysts. So returning, we have Puckett, Chris Puckett, who was the desk host for Season 1. We have returning also Sideshow, Josh Wilkinson, and Brennan Hook, or Bren. Both of them were the British duo for the desk in Overwatch League Season 1. Both of them are returning. Moving to the desk now, who formerly were not on the desk, we have Malik Forte. Just is Malik Forte, doesn't have a nickname or anything. He used to be more focused on interviews and being kind of the MC, kind of running the stuff, being by the stage more. Now he's moving to the desk instead of doing that. And we also have Zoe, who was interviewing before and whatnot. She is now also moving to the desk. Now she is, of course, there. Not returning to the desk are obviously Reinforce and Crumbs. I'll get back to Reinforce here in a little bit. No word on Crumbs, but I will get back to Reinforce. The other one who is missing notably is, of course, Golden Boy, who was involved with a lot of the desk stuff at times during the season, but I will once again get back to Golden Boy later. I want to cover a couple things involving him when we get later, but obviously Golden Boy is based in New York instead of LA, so it makes sense that he wouldn't be a full member of the team, but I think he will be making some appearances, and I'll get to that in a second here. Next, we have the casting teams. Last season we had 3 casting teams. This season we have 4. All 3 of last season's teams are back. Of course, we have the combo of Monte Cristo and Doa. They will be together again. We have the combo of Uber and Mr. X, once again back, and the combination of Semblor and Hexagrams, both of them returning, and they will be together once again. Joining the group are 2 new casters to the Overwatch League scene, not new to the Overwatch scene, but new to the Overwatch League scene. We have Wolf Schroeder, aka Wolf, who has spent his entire adult life in Seoul, South Korea, so he's been doing a lot of stuff for Korea, so he kind of knows the Korean Overwatch scene and Korean in general, Korean esports scene in general, but first time in 8 years back in the US to do the Overwatch League, and it'll be interesting to see his take on some of the players from the Korean region, some of the new players, obviously a lot of new Korean players this season. We also have Seth Achilleos King. He has also come from South Korea, but he was there for 3 years, spent some time casting League of Legends, and then got involved in Overwatch. So he has been around for a little while doing Korean stuff as well. So they will be a duo. I expect to see them on some of these more Korean-heavy matches. Some of these, when games that Vancouver plays, I expect to see a lot of these guys on a lot of those kinds of games. Finally, we have the League Insiders, the people who will be doing the interviews, post-game stuff, all that kind of stuff. And all 3 of them are, well, I guess 2 of them are new, 1 is returning. So the returning guy, we have Danny Lim. He was the guy who did all the translating during the interviews from Season 1. So he will be doing the interviews for the season, but instead of just translating them, he'll just be doing the interviews in general. Next, we have Emily Tang, who, if you watch the World Cup, you will recognize because Emily was there to do the Chinese translations and Chinese interviews. So she is a Chinese speaker, so she is going to help with the much larger Chinese scene that is here. Before, what I think is interesting is she did a lot of stuff in Hollywood, doing red carpet stuff, and was a reporter in the NBA. She's also a certified yoga teacher, self-proclaimed Pokemon master, and posts stuff on YouTube. So you can obviously check her stuff out in the on this Overwatch League page that is linked in the description. Finally, the last member of the group here is Mika Burton. She'll be your English-speaking interviewer, interviewing the American players, the European players, whatnot. She is, of course, she is a video game journalist, and she's done a lot of hosting and stuff. She's a cosplayer. She's been around for a while. She did some stuff for Contenders North America Season 2. She did some stuff in the World Cup. All three of these did, Danny, Emily, and Mika. There was also the UK Insider, but she is obviously not doing the Overwatch League Season 2 stuff, so that's a little unfortunate. Finally, there's a little blurb here at the end, the In the Mix section, and all it says is, keep an eye out for appearances by Jonathan, Reinforce Larson, and other special guests throughout the season. So this is where I say, Reinforce obviously will make some appearances, will show up time to time and do some stuff for the league. This is why I also think that Golden Boy is still very much going to play probably a similar role to what he did last season, coming in and filling in for Puckett when Puckett can't do it. That's my guess for what role, that was bad, for what role Golden Boy will play. So that's the talent team. A little bit different, but the casting will be the same, and the desk will be largely the same as well. So that is, of course, nice to see. I wonder if it'll be the same group doing the desk each day, if they'll keep Brennan's Sideshow together, or if they'll have like just a group of 5 people sitting at the desk. I have no idea. I'm excited to see what we get from there. Final 2 stories are somewhat short. I guess this first one's not as short. We have the 2019 Overwatch League All Access Pass information now available to us. You can get it for just $14.99 US, which is less than half the cost of last year's pass. And if you have it, you get the Command Center, which gives you different views on the matches. You can follow the point of view of certain players, if that's what you want to do. That's a kind of thing that is available to you. You get 200 Overwatch League tokens, and you get merchandise discounts. You get viewing without ads. There's a pass holder only chat, player interviews, badges, and emotes. There's stuff you can get, the viewing challenges and rewards. So I don't really know what those are. I've never gotten the All Access Pass. I didn't do it last year. So I might check it out this time around. It's significantly cheaper this time, so it seems a little bit more worthwhile. But I don't really know. If anyone out there has had it and thinks it's worth it, let me know, and I'll consider it a little bit more. But I've heard some people say it's really good, but I don't really know what if I would ever really use it, because I like the casting. I don't really need to look at certain players' point of views. But if you think it's worth it, if it's something that you had and really enjoyed, let me know, and maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I'll get it. But finally, the last thing, of course, I mentioned Overwatch League merchandise discounts. The new Overwatch League store is open. The store, which is now run by Fanatics, is here. It's got some more stuff than there was last season, but at the moment, not a ton more. So I'm hoping we get some better stuff here. I ordered a shirt. I'm still waiting on that shirt to arrive. Hasn't even shipped yet. I ordered it last week, so I'm hoping it comes soon. So I can't comment yet on quality or anything, but we do have the shop now up and running. So that is linked in the description as well. And that is everything I have for you this week. It's been a little bit longer than most, but some big stuff to talk about. But I want to leave this video off here. If you enjoyed, consider liking and subscribing, as it helps out a bunch with the channel and future content. But I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you all in the next video, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.